Alright, this is a 2006 Nissan Murano. The seat track is broken. So first things first is, if you're going to take the seat out, disconnect the battery because this does have an airbag in it. Next you'll want to undo these covers. They just have a couple little snaps. They pop off and you'll have to undo all 4 screws. So here on the back I was able to just pry these up with a screwdriver because the seat won't move forward and back. You can't really pry them straight upwards. But here's the bolts you have to get to. You have to probably use like a box end wrench or a ratchet wrench, or a small socket may fit. Alright, so by the way, these bolts that held these in were 14mm on this car. So next thing to do would be check and make sure that the tracks are the same distance on either side. Because I left the battery on and it's still connected, you can just simply move it forward and backward. Alright, well, the next step is to remove these 3 screws right here. Once you do that, you can pull that completely out like that. And then this piece, the motor, just kind of twist a little bit and pull straight out. And that reveals the nut that's stripped. The nut that you should have ordered by now and replaced is right here. It is a G002. You can get it off Amazon. It's like 37, 40 bucks. And just undo that nut, slide that off, and slide the new one on. You may have to use a small socket to gently press this new gear on. Alright, here's what it looks like when it's off. See, this is completely stripped right there. And be sure when you take it off, you do not lose those spring washers. Alrighty, so the next step is to take this out of the bag, put a little bit of grease on it. I'm just going to use some white lithium grease. And then I'm going to gently tap it in here as to not completely bind up this bearing. And we can reinstall it. Alrighty, well, there is 2 flats on this you have to line up on the shaft. And then I end up having to tap it on with a 9mm socket and extension. I just tapped it down gently till there's just a little bit of friction on that. Now I can tighten up this nut. By the way, it is a 10mm. Alright, once that is tightened, you can slide this back on and reinstall those 3 screws. You may have to wiggle this back and forth a little bit to get the gears to mesh up though. Another point of interest is when this motor is flopped up, and you go to put it back in, make sure that this is seated fully. Alrighty, so now I have those 3 screws in. Time to try it out. And it works. So now the only things left to do is flop it back down, install the 4 screws, and put the covers on. You're done. Alrighty, now with it all back together, you can enjoy your properly moving seat. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.